Time now for Media Watch. James is here. James, another development on the Rupert Murdoch phone hacking scandal. You know, we heard earlier today that Murdoch and his son have agreed to appear before the UK parliamentary inquiry to face questions after it was said they wouldn't go. And now there's a fresh development on the other side of the Atlantic.
Right. I mean, the big concern for the Murdochs and for News Corp was to prevent this scandal from spreading, not just beyond the News of the World to other British newspapers, but certainly beyond the British borders, I suppose. And we're seeing, I mean, if we can have a look at the front page of the Guardian website here. They're leading with this. FBI launches investigation into allegations that 9/11 victims were hacked. And so they're leading with that story. This is the newspaper that has been breaking it for the past 10 days or so. And the main article there, you can see people demonstrating in front of the News Corporation headquarters in New York City. And it looks like the FBI's New York office will undertake this investigation, this probe. So it has spread from Britain to the US, and indeed this is very worrying for News Corp.
Just saying one of the banners there, you outfoxed yourself, Murdoch, which obviously refers to the fact that he owns Fox News, which is the TV channel, and of course it's the New York Post, the paper that he owns there, isn't it?
That's right. He also owns the Wall Street Journal, and if we look at their front page, they're not talking about the FBI probe. They're talking about the fact that Murdoch has agreed to appear at that parliamentary hearing. So they're downplaying that, but not as much as the Sun back in the UK. They're not talking about it at all. And indeed, the Sun was implicated in this earlier this week, where it was alleged that Gordon Brown, his private medical records pertaining to his family and to his son, it is alleged that they were accessed illegally. Now, the Sun it came out yesterday saying that Gordon Brown is wrong about that. So there is the fear, really, that this could not just affect the News of the World, which shut down last week in a bid to kind of, I suppose, put an end to the scandal, but also other Murdoch titles in the UK, The Sun and The Sunday Times. Now, what they're hoping to do, again, another example of this desperate bid to draw a line under the scandal, they're going to put a full-page ad in several newspapers in the UK, rival titles such as the Daily Telegraph, the Daily Mail and the Guardian, and in their Sunday papers, a full-page apology, hoping perhaps that will go some length to appeasing the public anger about all of this. They've already lost out on their B Sky B buyout, which was a bid which was meant to be rubber-stamped by the government last Friday to buy out 100% of the biggest European satellite broadcaster. But one thing I wanted to point out was that a lot of people are now pulling up old videos, which are, I suppose you could say, taking the mickey out of Rupert Murdoch. This is going back to the 1990s. Hugh Laurie, better known as Dr. House these days, and Stephen Fry in a comedy series, A Bit of Fry and Laurie. And this first clip shows a Britain where Murdoch was never born, and he's discovering what papers in Britain looked like without him. So we'll just have a look at that.
Now, 2 very nice drinks, please.
Jesus, mothering ass. Where the hell are all the tits?
Yeah, in front of women's chests. I guess the editor didn't think that was much of a news story.
Gotta have tits to sell a paper.
Well, apparently not. Without your newspapers debasing people's view of the world with every sentence they produce, people have turned out to be interested in all kinds of other things. Strange, isn't it?
So there you go, debasing the view of the world. So people are, I suppose, pulling up old video clips, having a bit of a laugh about it, really, because Murdoch was such a foreboding figure. And now, in some respects, many are perhaps happy to see him going through tough times. The Irish Times has been at it as well. Newton Emerson imagines what a regulated News of the World would look like. Extra, read all about it, except the good bits we can't print. Now, this was also picked up by a Guardian blog. So they imagine a saucy vicar, and here's the article. A vicar has been having an affair. You can't print my name or anything about me, said the saucy vicar. I'm not a public figure and have a right to privacy, etc., etc. If I hear from you again, I will call the Statutory Press Complaints Commission. Good day. Not a very exciting article, it has to be said. And perhaps it illustrates that many of the details that the public was so interested in, that appealed to our voyeuristic side, many of them were perhaps accessed not fully legally. So what they're basically doing there in that article is pointing out maybe how boring the press would be if everybody fully respected the letter of the law. But, it's a question of morality, what you should do, and also, I suppose, what people want to read, what the public wants.
James Creedon trying to get back onto the fence there.
I think it was Hugh Grant had this sentence, it's either in the public interest, or the public is interested in it, yes, but is it in the public interest? And I suppose that's the question.
That is the question. James, thank you very much indeed. James Creedon there with Media Watch. Stay with us. We've got the day's news and sport coming up next, including the retirement of one Patrick Vieira, World Cup winner in '98. and now joining the backroom staff at Manchester City. Stay with us.